Let's continue with the brand strategy. Companies with brand names need to choose between four brand strategies: line extension, brand extension, new brands, multi brands. Now, I know I have spoken about this before, but now we are going to get into more details for brand strategy. Let's look at each in detail. For example, if you have an existing brand and then you have a new brand, existing product and new product. You have line extension within the existing brand and existing product. You have a brand extension between the existing brand and new product. You have multi-brand between new brand and existing product, and you have a new brand between new brand and new product. What are the advantages to the consumer? Now, if you do branding in this way, what happens is it is easily identify preferred product. The consumer will be able to know that, okay, this is what I want. They would be able to put their finger on it and would be able to make a choice very confidently. We know quality will always be the same. We can trust the product. Brand names help us establish the value of a product. Okay, so these are the factors that help you decide, they help the customer decide that this is the product that they always wanted. Advantages to the producer: consumers remain loyal to their preferred brand. Manufacturer can protect product name by registering a trademark. Manufacturer can produce new product using same brand name, knowing that customers trust the brand. Branding makes advertising and sponsorship easier. So these are the advantages to the producer. Advertising and marketing is the main thing. If you have a product that's branded effectively and that is also the same way, it is also classified or categorized effectively, meaningfully to the customer, it translates into more advantages to the producer because the brand is easier to manage and maintain. Also, another thing that impacts your marketability, being able to market your product effectively, is the packaging. Functions of packaging: it contains the product, protects the product, describes it, contains instructions of usage, attracts the customer, and gives details of other products under the same name and give products an advantage over competitors. So packaging also makes a lot of difference. For example, if you have a target consumer that is a big fan of mobile apps or technology, you could also have a product that is designed in such a way that download our app and to hear more about our coupons and savings and enter to win, participate in this game, or attend this event, all of these things. So you could all of this information is present in the packaging. Labeling helps identify the product. Labeling, I would like to talk about the Pepsi brand. If you know that in 1970s, the Pepsi brand had a distinctive light blue and red and white combination label, and that label is still famous today, but the light blue changed into dark blue over the years. But nowadays they have come back to their original labeling and packaging design, and the can of Pepsi looks exactly the same as it looked 40 years ago, which is amazing, which is just amazing. And they just want to make sure that the customer loyalty, many people in the same lifetime are able to see this product look similar. It's like nostalgic, it reminds them of the long time, of the times when they started drinking Pepsi, and with it reminds them of all the associated good memories. And it's a great strategy because what happens is the people now, they want to buy the product and they want to enjoy it all over again and talk about it, engage with friends and family that they remember the Pepsi can used to look like this. I think I even have pictures, and then fish out pictures and post pictures on social media. So this is like, a great marketing strategy. So if you have a product that has been around for a long time and you bring back the same old packaging as it used to have, provided that it is relevant in the current times, with a few modifications. It makes a lot of difference. So packaging and labeling is all about invoking the right emotions from the customer and helping them engage with the product more and more, and also increasing the sales. Marketing services requires different strategies than marketing goods because service is intangible. You can't touch, see, taste, or hear. Service is inseparable. You cannot separate the provider from the service. We've talked about this before. Service is perishable. You can't store it for later use. Service is variable. The quality is different every time depending on the provider. I think we all have a very good idea. Service could also include, servicing of your car, cleaning of your car. It could include cleaning of your house, moving furniture, and all of these things are services, and they vary from time to time. Product life cycle, the PLC or the product life cycle. PLC refers to the life of the product from the very first stages to the very last stages, or the final stage till it's declined in the market. Then you have stages in the PLC. During its lifetime, a product goes through 5 stages. You have a product development stage in which you brainstorm ideas with your team members. Introduction, where the product is introduced to the market. And then you have the growth, a period of rapid sales, and consumer acceptance. Then you have maturity, as sales growth slows down the levels off, and then decline when sales falls and profits drop. So maturity and decline are the 2 stages during which you need to devise an aggressive marketing plan to revive the product back into the growth stage. And for that reason, you need to make sure that you have ample marketing tools available based on your marketing research, based on the behavior of your target market. You have enough tools available for you to be able to deploy and employ, so that you regain your market value back. Product line. A product line is a group of products that are closely related. They have similar functions and are marketed to the same consumer groups through the same outlets. Introduction stage. This refers to the time when the new product is launched to the market and made available through distribution and sales. This is like, grand opening, or, launch of a new product, a special offer for limited time only, all of these things. Heavy promotion and advertising takes place in this stage. Emphasis will be on widely distributing the product. Prices on the high side if relatively little competition. Growth. This refers to the time when sales begin to grow quickly. Strong emphasis on selling. Consumers are aware of the product. Lots of advertising and promotion. Prices stay same. Some product development might occur to adjust consumer needs. Growth stage is then when sales are at their peak, when you cannot get any more profit than you currently are. So these are opportunities for you to improve your product. Maturity stage refers to the time when growth in sales slows down or levels off. And a lot of advertising and promotion levels are maintained. But look at this stage. Occasionally, more promotion is necessary to increase market share. Competitors will do the same. Increase the product life. 2 main ways to do so is modify product and relaunch it. Product modification. Find new uses for the product. Then alter price or distribution of the product. The decline stage is where you need to find out what is happening. Wrong marketing strategy, poor advertising and promotion, wrong product strategy, not enough product development, newer technology, product redundant, stronger competition, not enough market share, change in consumer buying habits. So these are the things that make it very difficult for the person or the business provider to sell their product. Decline stage is marketing managers have 3 options in this stage: maintain brand without change, hoping that competitors will drop, try to reposition the product, harvest or reduce costs as best as possible, wait for sales to pick up, drop, withdraw from the market. So these are the steps people can take, business providers can take in order to revive a dying product from the market. Okay, there's several case studies available online. If you want to Google them, you can check them out. The decline of Ford Motors, General Motors, not Ford, sorry, General Motors, how they came to a halt and how sales were really reducing. And the mergers between giant conglomerates, the big companies out there, when they decide to do a merger, it's usually a powerful company buying the weaker company, and as a result they enjoy the branding of the other company, and they also inject some aggressive marketing efforts to revive the product back in the consumer minds. So decline stage is a stage that has a lot of valuable lessons for people like you and me, and you really need to look into the case studies and try to discover what mistakes they made and how other companies are using those lessons learned to improve their own sales. So this is really a research on your part, and I would strongly suggest that you can begin your research, find about companies that have declined, sales have declined, and how they revived themselves, and also find about mergers and try to read up about them and try to list down the mistakes that they have made and try to compare them with the concepts we covered in this chapter. Okay, so that's a very good assignment for now, and by now you must have had a very strong business idea in your mind. And up in the remaining few chapters that we have in this course, we're going to talk about marketing strategies, different marketing tools and opportunities available for in the e-market environment. All right, so let's stay tuned for the next lecture, next chapter 9. Take care.